it's Julie Davison
Hi.
and
Susan LaCroix.
where's
Hi. Hi, Julie.
I feel like we should have written a script. Hi, Mom. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day to you and all of you out there. We're so excited.
It's Sunday, May 9th, and we thought it would be really fun to stamp together today. We're on Zoom though because we don't live near each other. I live in Champaign, Illinois, and Mom lives a couple states away in Wyandotte, Michigan.
Yeah.
And so I've not seen Mom. Well, we did see each other over spring break, and we did a
Yes,
video
we did.
then. But we
That
don't
was
get to
fun.
stamp together very often. So
Oh,
we need to do this more often.
we do need to do this more often. As a matter of fact, Julie called me the other day. She says, I have this brilliant idea. And so she shared it with me. I was like, let's do it. So in all of our crazy lives, because both of us are getting ready to leave for Maui for the Stampin' Up trip next Saturday. So less than 1 week. Julie, are you packed?
I was just going to ask you if you're ready. Am I packed? No, I still have some things I need to shop for.
Yes.
I got my bathing suit. I ordered it and it was not the right size and I had to order another one. So it came. So like, if I got nothing else, I'll have a bathing suit. I scheduled our COVID test for, before we leave, we have to have one to go to Hawaii. Make sure that you schedule it for the right time zone too, right? Like, so your time zone, you're flying.
Our last leg is out of Los Angeles, but just
So you'll need to make sure that your test is backed up the right
we want to do
time.
it Thursday afternoon.
Afternoon.
Yeah. So they're saying, because we're going through Walgreens and they're saying that the results are within 24 hours. So that'll give us another 24-hour leeway to get it done. So I feel pretty, we just have to get on there and do it. So,
well, I was on there today. I scheduled mine for Wednesday and Thursday wasn't they weren't opened up for Thursday appointments yet. So if you're going to wait, you have some time, but
yep.
Feeling nervous, but I just can't wait to go. We're going to have so much fun.
We are. One of the things we're going to do together is we're going on a helicopter ride.
I'm really excited about that. I can't wait to take the entire island tour with Maui Air. I've not been on a helicopter before. I know you have though, right?
Yeah, when we were in Kauai, we did the island tour in Kauai. Oh, and we also in the Caribbean at one of the Stampin' Up incentive trips, we flew a helicopter tour and it took us to an island that got buried by a volcano. So they had to evacuate the island and it's still just sitting there covered in lava. It was fascinating watching that. But anyway, but that's not why we're here, to tell you all about our fantastic trip.
We're not in the middle of preparing for our trip to Maui. We decided, hey, let's just design some new projects and get on and share with everybody.
Yeah.
But it worked out. So we have some new projects featuring I always call it the cover girl, right? So this that's on the cover of the catalog, Expressions in Ink. And this paper is really gorgeous, but sometimes I feel like I don't know where to start. And so I kind of sat down and felt a little stumped. And I think it all came around okay.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just getting set up. So I'm
okay. Well, I'll switch my camera over then and I'll talk about all the products in this suite because it's really awesome. Let me just flip this camera, replace spotlight. I am so
the whole thing, Julie.
I don't use Zoom a lot. So this is so unfamiliar to me to be switching cameras back and forth. Okay, so this is the Expressions in Ink suite. If you've got a copy of the 2021 to 2022 annual catalog, it starts on page 96. And one thing that I really love about the suites in this catalog is that they have tried to keep the price of the entire suite down. So for $75, you can get everything in this suite, which includes the stamp set, the dies, the designer paper, and this accessory pack. It's called Expressions in Ink. I'm gonna screw it up. Ephemera
pack.
ephemera pack. And so I just wanted to kind of give a close up of these things before we get started. So first, the designer paper. This is a 12 by 12 designer or specialty designer paper. And specialty, you can see it has the gold foil accents. It's so gorgeous. It's 12 by 12. This is cut down to 6 by 12. So you do get a full 12 by 12 sheet, 2 of each pattern. And you have these beautiful, like, this is supposed to be like alcohol ink kind of pattern. So a little bit different from watercolor. And I'm not really that familiar with alcohol inks. It's not something that I've used a lot before. So to me, it kind of does look like watercolor, but I can tell with some of the shading and the variations that it's a little bit different. But we've got these gorgeous flower patterns and background patterns that are just beautiful with the foil accents. And then the stamp set, artistically inked, has that same kind of look. This is a distinctive stamp set. And so we've got the detail of the variation in the color. Okay, does that look like a hamster or is it just me? Every time I got it out to use, I was like, it just looks like a hamster. I love the sentiments. We've got some really basics here. Thanks, happy birthday, best wishes, and hello. And then the dies to go with it. Most of them are die cutting the stamped images. There are 2 detailed dies, the flowers and then the big leaf. And then the accessory pack, the ephemera pack, has 10 sheets, I believe, of the gold foil accent pieces. So these are laser cut. You can see we've got some leaves and some hexagons. And I guess that's it, leaves and hexagons. Like these are frames that kind of pop out. And then the other thing that's part of this pack is sequins. And they're kind of like iridescent clear sequins. They're self-adhesive. So I love that they're ready to go. And just kind of a little bit of extra to embellish the cards and fill them out. So gorgeous, gorgeous suite, expressions in ink. I'm kind of thinking I might need to do a class with this suite because it's just so beautiful. And the colors in this suite include several of the new in colors. So we've got polished pink, pale papaya, evening evergreen. That's the really dark green. That's the 3rd in color. And then the other greens are pear pizzazz, just jade, and shaded spruce. Are you ready to share some projects with us, Mom?
I am. And you know, Julie, I was listening to you talk about the alcohol ink stuff. We used to do something similar many, many years ago when we used to have glossy cardstock.
Yes.
And we would I don't know, we just kind of sprayed alcohol that was mixed with ink and we just kind of let it run all over the paper and then let it dry. And we used to do, I think we called it polished stone.
Yes, I totally forgot about that. Yeah. But now that you say it, it was a very similar effect. So yeah, I guess it kind of was like an alcohol ink look.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Well, yeah. So I designed 3 projects, and as I was kind of sitting down, I started with the middle one, and then I went to the other one, or the more difficult one. So for the novice stamper, simple stamping, basically stamps, ink, and paper. And then the other one is for the casual stamper, so it's a little more stepped up. And then I have for an avid stamper, a project for that, which I'll probably spend more time on. All right, so what I did for the simple stamping is stamps, ink, and paper. And I added some designer series paper, and I love this pale papaya. I don't know which of my favorite end colors. If you can always leave us a comment or whatever and tell us what yours is. I just vacillate. So this one is very easy. I just simply took a strip of a basic white cardstock. I stamped the greeting. See if I can do this sideways on camera. This is 1.5 by 5 1/4, so this would need to be trimmed. But basically, I just stamped my things kind of in the middle of it, and that's pear pizzazz. And then I took some of the pale papaya ink. I think I lost my helper. My great niece is over here, and she was handing me things and wanted to watch, and I think she got bored. So I'm using this little stamp that has the 3 little flowers, which, and as Julie mentioned, there's a die for it. So you'll see that on a later project. And I just simply started just randomly stamping some flowers just to kind of, I got to turn it around. I can't. Okay, so that's basically all I did for this one. And just glued it on and did the simple stamping. So
I love that this designer paper really just like speaks for itself. It's like you don't need to add much.
No, you really don't. I suppose, it's hard sometimes. It's hard for me a lot of times to do simple stamping because I just want to add stuff to it all the time. So anyway, that's my simple stamping card.
Love
then
it.
The next project, excuse me while I close things up and move things around, is my intermediate one. And I'm just gonna show you one little tip on this one. So I just took some of the polished pink paper and layered it. So my card base is basic white, and then I have a very thin matte, but just, a matte that just shows a little bit of the polished pink, and then some of the gold foil paper. And then put the designer series paper on top of that. I embossed, heat embossed, happy birthday here, and then surrounded it with one of our frames from the ephemera pack, and then added just a few little sequins just to add a little sparkle. And I did use some of the polished pink open weave ribbon and tied up, just brought it around and tied a bow.
That's so pretty. Did you tie a real bow or is it a faux bow?
No, it's a real bow. And I won't do it on camera. All right.
Do you have any of that rose gold paper near you? Because I just opened up a pack when I was doing the product shares and it is really beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Do you want me to get it?
If you have it handy, I don't want you to go to take an adventure across the room if you don't have to, but
you know what? I'll go look for it while you're doing your demonstration. I know it's here because I also, when I did my video launch of the new catalog, I find my ephemera pack. Here it is right in front of me. I showed it. So anyway, so I just want to show you how I adhered this label on. And so I'm going to set that as I watch me knock something over. So I brought out one of my, you could always use fine tip glue, but our silicone mats are great for using for adhesives. And I just grabbed some toothpicks that I always have down here. And so let's just grab this. And it doesn't matter which one of these you do. Yeah, yeah, sure I am. All right, look at this. Yeah,
I really struggle with that fine tip glue, like, because it takes a little while to dry and I'm never patient enough.
Yep. You can either leave, I don't know if you can see this on camera very well. I've got my ring light here, but I was hoping you can see it. So, so there is kind of this solid piece in the middle of this that you can leave on, or you can take it out. So you have kind of an open look.
Mm.
Can you
can see it there with the reflection. That's good.
Okay, good. All right. So I'm going to just take it out for chuckles. Okay, so then that leaves me with that. I got to figure out what to put it on now. Oh, let me just put it on here. I have another piece of this designer series.
Oh, that paper is so pretty.
It's so pretty. So pretty. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some liquid Tombow liquid glue, which I adore. Mm. I just had to throw out 2 empty bottles this morning, so I've got to go dig some more out. So anyway, you can just put a little squirt on your silicone mat because it won't stay on there. I mean, you can clean it off very easily. Excuse my arm in the way. And then you could just simply take some of this and put it in some strategic spots around.
That's so smart to use a toothpick because I was really struggling when I was putting some of mine on, and I was just trying to use like the lid of the glue to, kind of dab it in, but the toothpick is so much more precise.
Yep, it sure is. Anyway, so pretend I have it where I want it. And I'm just going to stick it on here. Just kind of anywhere. I'll do something with this. Don't know what yet, but I will do something with this. Let me get this.
I love your shirt, by the way. It's so pretty on camera.
I like yours too.
They're so similar.
Yes.
In colors. Is there some mint in there? Like navy or is it light blue?
Like night of navy, balmy blue, and maybe some daffodil delight and white.
Ooh.
So thank you. It's not new by any means. I haven't worn it in a while. So anyway, so that is how I put my frame on. So if that helps you at all in working with these little ephemera frames, because I would hate for you to get it and then not do anything with it because you don't know how to put them on.
Yeah.
So that's just one way.
I love it.
So, all right, there you go. There's that tip. Now I'm going to bring over and that was for the casual. So now my avid stampers. And Julie, I think you're right. I think I'm going to end up doing a class on this as well.
Right? It's so pretty.
Yep. So what I did, I'm using Pear Pizzazz as my, oh, I didn't finish scoring this. There it is. So it's just a standard 8.5 by 11 piece cut in half. It's scored at 4 1/4, and then I'm going to score it again at 2 1/8. And I apologize. I thought I had done that, but I clearly had not. Right. 2 1/8. Oh, I don't want to cut it. Aha, that would be interesting.
I would do something like that.
All right. So I guess some of you could probably guess what I'm doing. I'm making an easel card. Oh, let me grab a bone folder, which I forgot to get. So I'm going to fold this in half and take my bone folder. I won't even tell you what my mother used to call it. God bless her.
Goodness.
Some of you who may be watching may remember what she said. I am not going to say it. Anyway, so, all right, so this is our basic little easel card, right? Okay, so I did, just took a piece of basic white, 5 1/4 by, 4 inches by 5 1/4. And then, actually I have 2 pieces, one for the inside. I didn't want to have you sit here and watch me stamp for 20 minutes. So I just stamped a ton of the flowers, and this is the polished pink, but I stamped off. I wanted it just a little bit lighter. So here's a stamped off and a not stamped off, just so you can see kind of the color difference there. And I've got some of the pale papaya, and I had stamped a bunch of these little guys and leaves. And then I die cut them all out. So again, I didn't want you to have to sit here and watch me die cut all of these. So they're already done. I already did that.
You know, when I was crafting with this last night, I did something really similar. Like I just stamped and cut out a whole bunch, and then I sat down and made cards with it. And it was so much easier to like have pieces ready to craft with than to try to, stamp and keep going back to the die cutting machine.
Yeah, yeah. So this is where you're going to probably have to get bored and watch me. I'm going to take this little stamp set with the dots, and I'm going to stamp with Versamark because I'm going to emboss it in gold. So let me just move my flowers out of the way. And
have you gotten the new embossing powder pack?
No, I have not.
I haven't either. I wondered if they were different sizes or if they were just like the regular jars, but
I think
packaged
they're a little
differently.
smaller. I think they're a little bit smaller. That's my understanding. So anyway, so I'm just kind of randomly, I may end up covering some of these. I actually had decided to add those on towards the end and very carefully emboss them after I got stuff on here. I'm trying to figure out where
Is that a new pad? I don't think I've ever seen one so clean.
I know, that's my on camera pad.
I should get one like that.
You know where I got that idea from was Lindsay Mann.
Oh,
The Canadian demonstrator who said, she's got her one she uses that all the time, and then she's got her for on camera.
that's so smart.
Well, Lindsay, she's such a sweetie, but anyway. Oh yeah, hopefully I don't know if she's this is a brand new gold. This is the old size though, so I'm sorry, I thought I should have checked.
That's okay. I'm still using jars that are like probably 15 years old.
I am too, but my gold is almost gone, so I thought, I'll crack out the new one. Okay. All right, so I'll clean this all up later, but
And so what is that? That's a coffee filter.
it is. I got them at the dollar store.
That's really smart.
Yep. And so that way everybody can have one. So, you know, I only, oh man, look what I did. Uh-oh.
Do you have a little paintbrush or something?
I do. I just, oh, here it is. Excuse me again for reaching. Oh, wow. I haven't done that in a long time. See, I'm talking away. I'm not paying any attention to what I'm doing.
It's because that ink pad was so juicy and new.
Sure, that's it, Jay. Oh, I can't wait to see you. I can't wait.
I
to see you.
know.
No, we just saw each other not that long ago. All right, well, I'm gonna, normally I would spend quite a bit of time trying to clean off this, but you're gonna get the idea. Because I'm probably taking off some embossing powder. Okay, now before I spill this all over my table.
If it were me, I'd get it in the laptop keys.
Oh, but you know what I've got? Ooh, while you're demonstrating. I'm gonna have to
Oh,
show
that's
you
right.
something. So cool. Yeah, I'll grab that. It's somewhere.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. I was gonna order myself one.
Maybe I'll just have to order it for you.
Oh.
All right, let me grab my heat tool. So anyway, yeah, our son and daughter-in-law is up here from Athens, Ohio. If you can hear me, we haven't seen them since my mother's funeral about 18 months ago. So we are just thrilled. There it goes, that they're up here. And the boys are upstairs grilling steaks. So we're having roasted asparagus and twice baked potatoes.
That sounds delicious.
And I made a pig licking cake.
Oh my goodness.
And my niece is making cookies. Okay, there we go. Thank you for your patience while I emboss that. Whoa, well, it's going on the floor. All right, and so now we have this done. And so now we can start placing some of our flowers. And I purposefully, let's see, let me grab one of the big ones. I always start with my biggest image when I'm doing, this is kind of a stacked collage kind of a thing. So let me see here. I guess we can put this one here. And then I'm going to place some pale papaya flowers. Let's see, we can put one over here maybe. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to emboss the center of that. That's okay. I'll show you in the final thing again. So there we go. And then let's grab some leaves. And I am going to pop all of these up. And oh, I got a little adhesive there. Come back here. And another one for this guy. Oh, let's shove him over here. Okay, so just to kind of get the basic lay of the land. And then we can throw some of these little guys on here. And these I'll put on with glue dots. So I think that's good for now, just to give you an idea of what I'm doing.
So pretty.
But don't worry, I'm going to use some of these later too. So, okay. Let me stick this over here and grab my dimensionals and start popping them. All right, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of lay this here and throw a couple of these here. And take a glue dot, put it on the front of this. On the green. Oh, it did stick. Oh, because it's still here. Oh, Lord, don't you hate that when you do that with glue dots?
I feel like my new roll is really bad, like with not sticking to things.
Yeah, could be. All right, so that one's ready. So we'll get our big guy going. Put a ton of these to make them stick up. Close enough, right? This is a trick I learned in Denver in 2007. It was so hot there, and the supplies on the truck kind of were getting kind of wonky. And so whoever was demonstrating with that couldn't get her dimensionals uncovered. So she stuck her fingernail in it.
I think it was Glenda Travelstead.
Oh, I think you're right.
I totally forgot about that until you started talking about it. And then like it just came back to me.
Yeah. There we go. So we'll stick that one there. We'll stick this one over here. You're kind of getting the idea, right?
Yes, I love it. It's so easy to
You
lay.
want me to keep going, Jules?
Yeah, we want to see the finished card.
Okay.
You can't leave us hanging.
Well, I could. Our son and daughter-in-law brought their dog Barney. He's a corgi, and he's absolutely just the sweetest dog you'd ever want to know. And our dogs, who are going to be 13, just don't tolerate friends coming over. And so they bark all the time. Well, sometimes Barney just wanders around the house, and he's such a friendly little guy. He'll come up and want me to pet him. And of course, our dogs get all upset and start barking. So they're trying to keep all the dogs upstairs for me. Because usually at some point there is a barking dog that comes around and causes everybody to jump.
Yeah, my pups are pretty quiet too. This time of the day, they're just chill and they're sleeping. They get a little stir crazy in the evening though, sometimes when I do my Thursday night videos.
Yeah, you know what? All right. Well, I didn't really space out those colors too well. So, and I didn't leave enough room for my greeting. I shoved all that over. So you'll see it on the finished project. Okay, so now, so this with the greeting would be done. And I'm going to take another piece of 4 inches by 5 1/4, and I'm going to do the inside. I'm going to bring my flowers back, and I'm using, let's do some polished pink. And so when you do, I'm sure you all know this, when you do an easel card, you need to have something for the easel to stand, right? So I'm going to pop all these bad boys up. I don't know how many of these I'm going to need, but so again, I'm just going to kind of turn them so that they're all a little bit different. Blah, blah, blah. And I need a few leaves, right? That's the fun thing. I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do, so I just wanted to grab some flowers and wasn't sure what colors or anything. So I just started playing. Didn't even want to change the color. Oh, I put that in the wrong thing. Let me see.
Couldn't figure out which way was supposed to be out on these leaves. And maybe it doesn't matter. I don't know.
You know, I don't know either. I don't know if I want it there. That's a really good question, Julie. I think it almost doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm sure I used it both ways on my projects.
I'm sure I have too. So it's kind of all right there. All right, so let's do another leaf. Y'all having fun out there? I hope you're all having some fun on Mother's Day. I'm just kind of grateful. Julie had given us a game called 3 Up, and she and Claire are just loving it.
Kind of obsessed. 3 Up, 3 Down is what it's called. And you guys tried it. Did you like it?
Yeah, I did. There's some the thing is you got to figure out the strategies, right? Because there is some strategy to it.
There definitely is. Not a whole lot, but a little bit in figuring out which one you want to play. Your 3 Up cards.
Yeah.
I love how it's so quick. To us, it's kind of like Uno, right? Like you can play a quick hand of Uno, and I feel like you can play a quick hand of this. You'll have to bring it to Maui so that we can play.
Yep. It's on the pile to be packed along with some snacks, and we'll get our little game bin out and figure out what you'll have to let me know what you and Jim want us to bring. If you want some more, what other games you want.
Oh, I'm up for anything. I think whatever you have in the travel bin. What did we bring last time? We used to, well, we don't have the cases anymore, but I know we've got a Yahtzee packed up in a old wood mount case with the dice and the pad and some pencils kind of all.
Yeah, all ready to go.
Yeah.
All right, last little flower here. I'm almost done, you guys. We're getting there. You're getting there. Okay. So, all right, so this is going to go on our inside. So there is still a little bit of room to write. And I think I'm going to use liquid glue. I love this stuff. And I love this stuff because it's kind of forgiving. And you can move it around if you didn't quite get it where you wanted it. You have a little bit of time to move it, slide it around until you get it right where you want it. Okay. So this is going to be our easel. Ta-da. So on this guy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put him, I think, this way. You have to be careful and only put glue on the bottom so that you have your easel that sticks up. So if you lay it down, and then you can again center this because it's 4 by 5 1/4. Oh, watch. Should I put the glue on the right side?
Yeah, I think you did.
Anyway, so there it is. So there is the easel card.
So pretty.
And then, so here's the finished one where I did leave room for the greeting. Ta-da!
Oh, I love it. And you even got Happy Mother's Day on there.
I did. I had another greeting on here and I thought, with all these flowers, it's Mother's Day. I should be doing a Mother's Day card. So anyway,
perfect.
So those are my 3. See, the dogs are down here barking because they know I'm on camera. So they decided they're going to play. And I'm going to ignore them. So while Julie is demonstrating, I'm going to find the new paper that she wants me to show. And another little thing that I have that I think you'll like. I've shown, some of you have already seen it, but anyway. All right, so at this point, I'm going to turn it over to Julie. And take it away, Jay, and I'll be back with you in a minute.
Okay, so Mom, I'm just gonna mute you for a second while the dogs are barking. You can unmute yourself when they're done barking. So Mom said she had a simple and stepped up and over the top project. Well, or new stamper, casual stamper, avid stamper. And so I tried to kind of organize my projects that I did in that same sort of fashion. So the first project I'm going to show you is this one. It's very much a simple stamping project. So it's literally just stamps, ink, and paper. And this is a really great layout. Actually, you may have seen me use it recently. It is one of the layouts from the Double Wonder card, one sheet wonder, double wonder card template that Shannon West did. And so on Thursday, I demonstrated this one using the Sweet Symmetry designer paper and the Biggest Wish stamp set. But for this one, I thought I want to stamp my own designer paper. So this is a really great, simple stamping project. And we're going to stamp our own. So I just wanted to show you, if you're a new stamper, how you could make this project too, even if you don't have designer paper and other fancy stuff. So we're starting with a piece of Whisper White cardstock that is 3 inches by 4.5 inches. And we're going to stamp on this first, and then we'll layer onto the other pieces. Now, I just realized I forgot a grid paper. Let me grab one. I don't know why I never have one on my table. I don't have a reason. So I'm going to stamp first. I always stamp the lightest color or the biggest image, and I'm going to stamp in a triangle to keep the images evenly spaced. And you want to fill up a good portion of the cardstock. You don't want to have a lot of empty space. So I did that first. That's in Pale Papaya. And then I'm going to add the leaves in
Pear Pizzazz. And again, just trying to fill in that space. And then I'll go back with the smaller flowers and polished pink and add in wherever there is space. And you can go over the edges too. You know, you want to kind of add that color in there so it's going off of the paper. So now we made our own designer paper using the artistically inked stamp set. And so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut this into 3 pieces. Mom, I'm going to see if you're ready to unmute. Ask to unmute. If the dogs are no longer barking, there you are. Okay.
Hopefully.
Okay, so this piece was 3 inches by 4.5, and I'm going to cut it into 3 segments that are 1.5 inch pieces. So I have 3 1.5 by 3 inch pieces. So if you're using designer paper, that is the size that you want to cut. 3 1.5 by 3 inches. Okay, so now I'm going to layer it onto some polished pink cardstock, and this is 3 1/4 by 5. This card is so easy. I'm going to flip these over. I want to keep them in the same order so that the pictures line up, the images line up when they're on the finished card. So I'm going to use a little bit of the seal and line them up evenly, spacing them between each other and the top and bottom of the cardstock. And this is going to go on old olive cardstock. That's 5.5 by 8.5. So that's just a half a sheet of cardstock. I always like to score. So that's scored in half at 4 1/4. Then you get a nice good fold. Now the last piece is for the sentiment. I'm using a piece that's 3/4 inch by 3 3/4 inch. And this is going to be for the happy birthday sentiment. And that's in polished pink. So this is super simple, no die cutting, just cardstock, ink, and paper. You can always, and I always feel like this, you can always dress up your cards, right? With designer paper and ribbon and sequins, but sometimes it's nice just to have a simple, clean and simple card. This is definitely like my style. I'm always kind of a clean and simple stamper. Are you muted again, Mom?
Nope, I unmuted. They stopped barking.
Oh, good. So how would you say, what is your stamping style?
You know, it varies because I love collage cards. I love shabby chic.
Yeah.
And I love the clean and simple. So, you know, I just kind of gravitated. A lot of it depends on the stamp set. There are stamp sets that just scream shabby chic and others that scream clean and simple. That is gorgeous. I really like that. I love that technique. I love that cutting those in 3. You lined it up so quickly. Sometimes I just struggle and all of a sudden I've got this big gap on one side. So
I just try to space evenly like on the edges and I eyeball it. Like it's not perfect. Sometimes, you know, one end might be closer. I'm the queen of pulling cards apart. So like when I put it down, sometimes I don't push down like really hard. Yeah, you know, like I just put it like lightly put it down, and then when I get it where I want it to go. You know, I was talking to you earlier and I said how I had some cards designed, but I didn't have them glued down yet. And that's kind of how I design. Like I lay everything out and then like I set it aside and then I come back to it and I like tweak it or I make adjustments. And then I glue it down like at the very end when I make sure I've got everything right. Well, here's the original card that I made when I was crafting. So this I would say is more of like a stepped up, right? More like a casual stamper card. I included the designer paper and they were the same measurements. So these are 1.5 by 3. The white is the same as the pink was, and that was 3 1/4 by 5. And then I added some of the foil pieces from the Expressions in Ink ephemera pack and some of the sequins. So they're kind of clear. I feel like they blend in a little bit, but that really just dresses it up. And so again, like I did not use the die cutting machine on this at all. Like you could totally make this without having to have a whole stamp room full of stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's my first project. I didn't really go all the way to the Avid there, but here's another one. Now, I wasn't really thinking stipple stamping until you mentioned it. So I kind of went backwards here. The first card that I made was the Avid, or the really stepped up one, and then I stepped it back and stepped it back again. So this is the simple stamping version of the card, and I wanted to share these measurements with you because this is a really good layout to use designer paper. So this one doesn't use designer paper. This is simple stamping. I just use stamp ink and paper. And I want to point out, I use those little dots here along the bottom just to sort of dress up that cardstock a little bit. Now, the next one is sort of the casual stamper card. I use the designer paper. I use the ephemera pack with the sequins as well. And so these are the same measurements. 3 by 4 is the designer paper, and then 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 is the layer, and then the strip at the bottom is 2 inches by 4 1/4. So these are really great, easy measurements. Like if you have a 12 by 12 designer paper and you want to cut that into different pieces, if you cut into 3 by 4 pieces, you'll have an even number, you know, across the whole sheet, and you'll use your paper efficiently. So there's the casual card, and here's the one that I originally made.
Julie, did you stamp the dots on that bottom piece?
No, I didn't use the stamps on the bottom. I thought about it, but the paper is there's so much going on in the paper.
Yeah.
Honestly, I had it made already and I thought about it, but I didn't tear it apart. So here's the really stepped up Avid card. So I used the stamps, I die cut the images, I added a little bit of the gold foil paper, I added some twine, I've got a piece of the ephemera pack in here and the designer paper. So again, all the same measurements, you know, the strip across the bottom and the 3 by 4 piece. And these two are the same designer paper, just dressed up a little bit differently.
Nice.
I think I'm warming up to this pink, polished pink. It's kind of bright. Like it's not as bright as magenta, but it still is pretty bright. Okay, well, when I mentioned that I stamped a bunch of flowers, I was determined last night when I was playing to create some cards with these detailed dies. And so I die cut them so that I was forced to do something with them. And I thought in the catalog, and let me flip here. I thought in the catalog that it looked like the stamps kind of line up behind the detailed die. Doesn't it look like that?
It does, but I don't, does it? It doesn't, does it?
Well, I tried and it didn't really like line up perfectly. Like, so they must have done some trimming so that it didn't spill over, because when I did it, it definitely spilled over the edges a little bit, but I loved the look of that. I thought that was pretty, but I cut mine in gold. And after I cut mine, I remembered this little trick. And that's to use the adhesive sheets. So the adhesive sheets are found on the adhesive page in the catalog. It's item number 152334. And it comes like this in a package of 12 6 by 12 inch sheets. And so it is exactly as it sounds. It's just a sheet of adhesive. So the best way to detail or to adhere these detailed dies is to use the adhesive sheet before you die cut it. So these have these nice little squares that come off. So I'm just peeling them off the paper and sticking it onto the back of the gold foil paper. And then I sent it through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine with the leaf die. And so I got that all ready. I have to find my take your pick tool has an attachment for the die brush. And for some reason, mine is missing. I don't know where it is. I have the old one. And maybe I'm just going to use that one really quick and see if I can pop some of these little boogers out. But there is one for the take your pick tool. Oh, I got a hair. And then you can use your piercer to get out all the other little pieces. This is, I feel like it's so messy with all these little, I should have done this ahead of time.
Well, that's why you need this handy dandy little thing I'm going to show everybody.
Oh, do you have your take your pick tool, or is there something different?
Oh, no, you'll see.
That thing, yes. Okay, I definitely need that because I am so messy. Okay, so I've got these pieces. Let's bring in some more cardstock. Okay, so this is shaded spruce. Love it. And look at this paper. It's just so pretty. I can't get over it. So this is just 4 inch by 5 1/4. I hate putting adhesive on a pretty side, but
yeah.
This is the side I really want this to pop against. And then I have a piece of shaded spruce cardstock. And so I'm going to put this on the shaded spruce cardstock. Let's see how easily this works. So I forgot on my original one and I had to use Tombow, but this is really, I see the little line here where the sheet was, and that whole thing just peels off, and now this is sticky. So the big thing is just going to be finding all of the places to peel away the adhesive. Almost. Okay, that's it. And now the whole thing is sticky. That's so easy. Okay, so this is going to go across the card like that. Look, oh my gosh, that's so brilliant. I feel like that one's getting a little wonky. Okay, now I'm going to put adhesive on the back of the square, rectangle, whatever, and that's going to go. Isn't this just so classic?
It really is, Julie. I forgot about the adhesive sheets too. They're sitting in the drawer, but right by my die cutting stuff.
They're tucked, mine are tucked away, so that's how I forgot about them. Oh, I don't do a lot of detailed cutting. That's the other thing. I want to get more. Sorry, I need more dimensionals. I'm gonna open a new pack.
I actually die cut in pear pizzazz, that leaf thing too, because I was going to use it and then I didn't. So I have it sitting on my table to use. But unfortunately, I'm going to have to use the glue because I didn't use the adhesive sheet.
Okay, so about 100 dimensionals is what you need to put that on. I always use a lot. Get on there.
Use your nail, use your thumbnail.
I know I can get him to just to flick off usually. Okay, so centering again with equal space on the top and bottom. And then for the sentiment, I'm going to use the, my favorite is the tailored tag punch. Now, there was one of the samples in the catalog used this punch. Oops, use this one. The Banners Take Your Pick tool, or no, not Take Your Pick tool. The Banners Pick a Punch tool. And I always have problems with this, like not lining up just right. Like if your paper is not quite the width that goes in the track, like, I don't know. So I always just fall back to my favorite tailored tag punch. And let me show you. I love this so much because of course you can punch the shape. Okay, but then you can also use it to punch a banner, or you can bring it in here and punch the arrow shape. So you get 1, 2, 3 looks from the same punch.
Brilliant.
So that's what I used to punch the ends of my banner. I just feed it through like that and kind of eyeball the center. And then I get the little arrow point. I might have cut that too small. Let me see if the thanks is still going to fit. Oh, it's really, really tight. Well, I showed you what I did. I'm going to put this one on because it's done.
There you go.
Oh, so just some Stampin' Dimensionals on this. Oh my gosh, I love that. And that's it. Like, so even though it's all dressed up in Avity, like it's still pretty simple.
Yeah.
Here is the one that I did with the flowers and the birthday. Isn't that so pretty?
That's pretty.
I'm obsessed. Okay, so that was my last project. Oh my gosh, I actually made more. I just, I don't want to be here all hours. So let me go ahead. I'm going to change the spotlight now. And let me add you, Mom.
Okay. It's real fun stamping with Julie. You know, I just kind of focus on one, maybe two projects at a time. This girl will use a big part of the table and she's working on like 4, 5, 6 cards all at the same time. It's like I sat there with my mouth hanging open going, geez, Louise, girl.
When the mojo strikes, man, like I just can crank them out. But sometimes, like, and I think we're all like this, sometimes it's just hard, right? Yeah. And it's hard to come up with inspiration. So I always turn to the catalog. And that's what I did last night. I opened up the catalog and I looked at the projects that they created. And sometimes I copy or I case a layout or take some inspiration to get started. And then once the ball gets rolling, then it's easier.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So Julie wanted me to get this paper. This is the gold and rose gold metallic specialty paper. Oh, I got to switch my camera.
I was going to say, do you want me? Let me spotlight you and you can switch it over.
Oops. Oh, I just turned my camera off. All right. Let me do that. Okay, there we go. All right, so this is the gold and rose gold 6x6 paper. You get 8 sheets in the package, and this is so pretty. So here's the gold.
Oh my gosh,
isn't
that's
that
so
something?
Beautiful.
It is, and it's not like the glimmer paper had, you know, like glittery things. This isn't. This is almost like a brushed, but really detailed brush. And then the rose gold. Look at this.
Oh my gosh,
isn't that gorgeous?
So pretty.
That really is.
And it comes 6x6, right?
6x6. And you get 4 of each color. So yeah, I don't remember the price point on this, but I wanted to see what it was all about. So anyway, the other thing I want to share with you that I shared at one of my team meetings is a customer had told me about this. This is a desktop vacuum. And a lot of folks use it in their offices to kind of clean their keyboards, but crafters can use it to clean up all those little bits of things that get on your desk. So it's battery operated, and there's a little switch. I like the Taihu. It was like I think it was under $20. I mean, it was not expensive at all. And the bottom has brushes on it. And so it's real easy to take apart and empty out the little canister or reservoir thingy. And I haven't changed the batteries yet. So I had actually read reviews on a bunch of these. And so this is the one I settled on, but there's a little switch here. And so if you have like an embossing powder on your surface or those little nubs, look at the dimensional things. Woo! And they're gone. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So,
oh my gosh, I need one of those.
I know. I'm going to probably end up buying several for all you girls, Amy and Ange. So Taihu. And it comes, I think, in a mint green and white or something. I don't know. I just got the black and white, but I've taken it over to my my embossing area because sometimes you get all those little pieces, and I just on the cutting plates because the brushes it works. Sometimes you have to scrub a little bit, but yeah. So that's my little cleaning tip of the day.
I love it.
Stamping space. Yay! So let me switch my camera back. Boy, Julie, this has been so much fun.
Yes, and we need to do this more often.
We do. We just need to schedule it. So I don't know. But yeah, because we don't live close enough together to do this. But boy, we had so much fun doing it, and we got such great feedback from everybody that we thought, oh, we need to do it again. So this was great doing it over Zoom.
Yes.
And
I'm so glad we got to stamp together today.
No, on Mother's Day. Oh, I love you.
I love you too.
I don't know, if you know, I mean, I have 4 children, 3 girls and a boy, and our son is our youngest. Julie has 4 children, 3 girls and a boy, but her son is her oldest. So it's a lot of fun. So, and along with her 4 children, I have 4 other grandchildren. And so, yeah, our oldest is going to be 25 in September.
Oh my gosh.
Right? Isn't Anthony going to be 25?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Anna Banana is going to be 11.
She'll be 11 next week.
That's our baby. Our baby's going to be 11.
Yeah. 2 weeks from today. So not next week, 2 weeks.
Wow. Yeah.
She's been talking about it for a whole month. What kind of cake am I going to have? When do I get to open presents? What are we going to do for my birthday? And we're not even going to be here.
Oh.
We're going to be traveling home that day from Maui. So
yeah.
We'll celebrate.
Oh, goodness. Anyway, so and with that, I think we're going to sign off. And
yeah, I think so.
I
think everybody knows if they want to place an order, they can shop in our online stores. And I think your people know how to find you and my people know how to find me.
Absolutely.
So if you want anything from the new catalog, be sure to get on and order with us so you can get all these awesome new things. This Expressions in Ink cover girl. I've been really kind of impressed that we've seen a couple of things that have gone into back order so far, but I feel like everything is, we've got really great availability on stuff. So I'm super excited about that. Lots of awesome stuff to get.
It is. And Julie, you pointed out the sweet price is a really good price point for what's, here. And they've really worked to keep the cost down for demonstrators and their customers.
Yeah.
And so, I've just had a ton of fun playing. I actually have a workshop Tuesday night that
Are you going to be making one of these projects?
I might. Actually, the hostess asked me for she wants to use the hand penned. She wants a diorama card because she saw Julie's. And so
the party puffins.
Yeah. I'm going to use the stamp set with the birdhouses. I think that's
my gosh, that's going to be so perfect.
Yeah. So I'm doing that. And then the other one, what was the other one? I can't remember. I'll figure it. I mean, I've got a note with what she wanted. So, I have the ideas floating around. So once you come down up with the card, the prep is fairly quick.
I always have too many ideas. That's my problem. Like I can never narrow it down and figure out what I want to show because I just want to show everything.
It's kind of like you go to a buffet and your eyes are bigger than your stomach. That's kind of how I am with stamping. It's like my eyes are bigger than what I have the capacity or the time to even work with. It doesn't stop me.
Yeah. It's so true. Yeah. Well, Jim's coming down. He's like, I don't want to be too loud, but he's starting on dinner. He's making lasagna, my favorite, for dinner tonight. So I'm sure everybody over there is anxious for you to come up and join them for dinner as well. So thank you for taking the time to stamp with me today.
Julie, it's been wonderful. We will do it again. We'll plan while we're in Maui on that helicopter. Yes. We'll talk about how we want to do more of these.
I think that sounds like a great idea. So I will look forward to seeing you next Saturday, maybe Sunday morning.
It'll probably be Sunday morning because by the time we get there, it's going to be late. So they moved our flights. And so, and we have a long layover in Los Angeles. So not looking forward to that. But anyway, it's going to be great whenever we get there. So.
It's going to be fantastic. So I will see you next weekend.
I love you, girl.
Love you too.
Bye,
Happy
everybody.
Mother's Day.
Thank you. Bye.